Stories are welcome. So what are you waiting for? Tell us yours now. Give us a call at 1-877-847-6437. That's 1-877-84-ROGER.
Welcome back. Welcome aboard. 877-84-ROGER. Our phone number on the web at rogerhedgecock.com. The chat room up and running. Vigorous today for a Friday. And the emails pouring in. Got a joke for you later. We'll get to that. But now, talking about immigration, E-Verify, the DHS, all the rest of that. Look, the leader in the House of Representatives for Border Control is Congressman Brian Bilbray. He joins us on the newsline. Brian, how are you?
Roger, old friend, it's been too long. I'm an honor to be with you.
Well, thanks so much. Thanks for being there. Bring us up to speed here. The White House put off this meeting that was scheduled for June 17th. Is that a good or a bad sign?
Well, I think it's a good sign unless what they're planning on doing is after what they did this week, starting the retreat, they're obviously trying to look like they may be negotiating a total surrender on immigration issues and trying to stop the illegal immigration. I mean, it is astonishing that we watched this happen, and we're hoping it wouldn't happen, but it's just been steadily the delay, stall. You know, Roger, nothing's more moderate or more reasonable and more common sense, just basic common sense than E-Verify. And how can you sit there and continue to stall on this and still say you really want to enforce the laws of this nation?
Well, exactly right. In fact, the DHS apparently is watering this down. But I've often wondered, you're at the level where you talk to people all the time at the union level. How is it that unions, and I'm in a union, I'm in AFTRA, the Federation for Television and Radio Announcers, AFL-CIO and all that, but I've never been able to understand how unions could go along with an amnesty open border regime when, in fact, it undercuts the standard of living of the working people of this country.
You know, you've got that division between the elite and the rank and file, and the rank and file are outraged about it. You don't have to, you know, find a Republican in Ohio. You find the average, hardworking union member Democrat working in Ohio, and they're outraged at illegal immigration and about the lack of commitment of the government. They were outraged at Bush, and they were outraged at this maneuver. But the elite is looking at, hey, look, we're union leaders. We can replace our legal workers with illegal workers, and illegal workers who, especially if they don't speak English, are so much easier to manipulate and control. And basically, they are trading in their membership today for a membership in the future that'll be easier to manipulate. The most immoral thing in the world, not representing the people that elected you to do the job.
Brian Bilbray with us, Congressman. Brian, the Federation for American Immigration Reform, FAIR, and I are partnering up again for Hold Their Feet to the Fire. This, by the way, I've been told is the 15th one, to get that. Hold Their Feet to the Fire this coming September 13 through 17. I don't know. We kind of stabbed in the dark on the calendar on this. Are we going to be too late, too early, just about right? What are you hearing?
I think you're really right. I just think that, you know, as you may know, we've been sort of laying low, waiting for these guys to make their move, and now it looks like the new administration is making its move. It's trying to figure out how to appease and pay off the people that, you know, they made a lot of promises in the back room. You know exactly what kind of back room. We still remember Ms. Busby telling illegals that they not only didn't need to have papers to vote, but she was going to provide them all the great benefits, even if they were illegally in the country.
Yeah, this was Brian Bilbray's opponent last time, the Democrat who we caught on tape in a so-called private meeting, telling illegals in response to a question, how can we help you? Well, you can vote. And of course, everybody in this room is illegal. So, yeah, that was pretty interesting.
Well, I think you've got a perfect timing, Roger. You, like always, you tend to, it's either you're the smartest guy in the world or the luckiest. And I'll tell you something. I think that it's a little bit of both, that you're going to be showing up. We've met, you know, my executive committee met this week. You know, people like Steve King, Lamar Smith, Mr. Kingston. We're going to be really raising this issue. And one of the biggest concerns is the administration stalled, and now they're going to use a redoing the entire reg as an excuse to put it off another 6 to 9 months. And here's what's happened. You've got $1 trillion of so-called stimulus money out there that is now being let out and contracts being let out. And the open border guys pursued the effort of making sure that no one was going to stop illegal aliens from getting these jobs. And now you've got the administration delaying the implementation of a most common sense issue, and that is, let's make sure that American taxpayers aren't hiring illegals with our tax dollars. I mean, it's strictly a strategy, a stall, delay, and find an excuse to keep the opening up. And all I got to say is the real issue with E-Verify, if it's easy enough for members of Congress to use, it's easy enough for anybody to use.
Yeah, amen to that. In other words, E-Verify wasn't even, I mean, let's nail this down. You're saying that Congress wouldn't even require employers who are getting stimulus money, who are getting taxpayers' money, to require them to hire Americans.
Yeah, they don't even want to bother that. It's like, if you're illegally in this country, you not only have a right to a job, you have a right to a job financed with taxpayers' money.
Yikes. Now,
this is where we've got to call. And, you know, Roger, it just shows how far to an extreme they are. They won't even meet us halfway on something as simple as checking on the computer that a name and a number, a Social Security number matches. I mean, how moderate of a proposal can you go? So easy, so moderate. It is down to an issue to where, we've got people that will say, I couldn't be in business today if it wasn't for E-Verify, and they're not only not trying to make sure that Americans' tax dollars don't go to this, but now they're trying to kill the whole E-Verify or use it as a ploy to be able to justify another amnesty. And that's what you're seeing right now. This week, not only did you see the executive branch back off on E-Verify, but now you got the legislative branch that's saying we're only going to renew it for 2 years, because that's when they plan on bringing back amnesty, and they're going to try to hold us hostage with E-Verify, as thinking that that's some kind of bargaining chip to be able to give amnesty to 20 million illegals in the country.
What's the status of the border fence construction or border security construction, Brian? Because that was another issue. In other words, we got three issues. The amnesty is the one, border protection and the employment verification. But how about the border construction and security issue?
Well, one of the bright spots, and this is sort of a legacy to the Hadrian of America, and that's Duncan Hunter, is that Smuggler's Gulch is finally finished. We finally have a fence across Smuggler's Gulch, and I give anybody a guess why it was called Smuggler's Gulch.
Yeah, and let me just bring everybody up to speed who's not in San Diego. This was a giant open area between Tijuana and San Diego that had no fence whatsoever.
Yep, and they ran right through there. Now we've got that is closed off, and now there's the issue of an area of real steep terrain over on towards the Pacific Ocean. But right now, it's basically being any new construction is being held up by the new administration, and you've got Duncan Hunter's son, Duncan Hunter II, introducing a bill that I've co-sponsored, that many members of Congress have, to call for starting ahead with another 300 miles of fence there, and we haven't been able to get that put on the docket yet, but I'm sure you're going to see the new Duncan Hunter leading the charge on the border fence, just like his dad did.
Well, God bless. Brian Bilbray will be in touch with you for our trip, September 13 through 17. We're holding their feet to the fire. We're going to apply our shoulder to the wheel here to help you guys out to get this amnesty defeated again and to get common sense border protection and protection for American jobs. Brian Bilbray, thanks. We'll be back. By the way, Sandy Carter on the other side of our break with details of how you can get involved in holding their feet to the fire. Your calls, too, right after this.
Roger Hedgecock.